Hi Homeworthy, I'm Margaret. Welcome to my apartment on the Upper East Side, so come on in.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
I'm Margaret Schwartz. I own Modern Antiquarian, which is an antiques business, and I specialize in garden antiques. And we are here in my apartment on the Upper East Side in Manhattan. I found this place online. I was moving back to the city from Connecticut. I had been on the hunt for a little bit and I saw the listing. It had been staged online, which was good because I'm not sure I would have looked at it otherwise. It was a total wreck when I looked at it, but it was actually the first apartment I came to see because I felt in my gut I had a pretty good feeling about it. Looked at a bunch of other ones and just knew this was the right one for me. I love the style of it. It's a pre-war period Art Deco piece apartment and building, and so I just completely fell in love with the sunken living room, the original rails, even the casing around the doors is metal instead of wood, so it's just got these kind of funky, interesting features. So when I purchased the apartment, it needed a lot of work. So the kitchen and the bathroom needed a lot of renovation. I added a washer dryer, so there was just a ton of things to do, which was good because it really gave me the opportunity to kind of put my own stamp on it. The rest of the apartment was in pretty solid condition. There was some wood, it's the original wood flooring, which is great, but there were some pieces that had been kind of worn that we had to replace too. Then I added air conditioning because, as we know, New York City summers are just like brutally hot, so that it was really kind of a lot of fun. It took a while. I had hideous timing, so I closed on the apartment in November of 2019, and since it needed a gut renovation, we were working through the renovation process, the application process with the building when COVID hit. We weren't allowed to start renovating until March of 21, and I moved in October of 21. So I owned the apartment for 2 years before ever spending a night here. So welcome to my dining room, which was one of the really fun spaces to design. I had this dining table already. It's a fantastic Swedish piece. It's got a ton of good age on it, later paint, but still a lot of good age. There's even a drawer on the other side that when you pull it out, there are the names and the dates of previous owners. So it's a very cool, just a very special piece to me. Super useful. I mean, how is a farmhouse table not kind of just so useful and easy? These chairs I actually got when Kips Bay, the show house in the city, used to do more of like a shopping area. I was able to find these 6 chairs, fell in love with them. They've got this great lacquer, this kind of Italian lacquer on them in this sort of neutral kind of color. And I ended up reupholstering them in a nice vinyl that has, it looks like hide, right? It kind of looks like hide. So it's this faux hide material. I like having candles set for dinners. I think it's just nice to kind of have that natural light. And so I started collecting these great snake candlesticks. So this one in particular I really love, right, with that finger hole, that finger loop right there. And just a lot of good texture on it. It's really cool. It's got the sort of serpent spike tail at the end, which was really fun. So the major wow factor, which was my like total budget buster blowout piece, but I just had to have it, were these cranes. It's a de Gournay wall covering, which de Gournay just has the most spectacular wall coverings. I mean, truly so beautiful. These were all hand painted. We selected it's called Orchid on their slub silk. And this is a style with these cranes that is a Japanese kind of style. So when you're looking at the crane sort of head and the neck, there's a lot of detail, including they added beading to some of these cranes on their crowns. So fun, so cool. When the light catches, it's really just sort of magical. But the style then kind of gets a little bit more loose, a little more flowy, which you can really see the movement of the water. They added in some kind of gilding paint, a little gilding paint in the water to add some more reflection. So there's just a lot of movement. I mean, the amount of detail, the amount of work that it takes to hand paint these is just astounding. I could not be happier with them. I literally sometimes sit here and just look at them because they're so beautiful. I think they're so special. So you can see on the heads and on the necks, all that really fine detail, all that kind of fine work. And then on this one right here and this one you can see up close all the beading. So beadings and sequins, you know, it's so impactful. It makes such a statement here. When it catches the light, it's really beautiful and just really interesting. You can also see some of the gilding in here around the feathers. And again, down in the water where there's that all just really, really beautiful movement, and it kind of catches the light again. So I just love them. I think it's great. I mean, look at this one with its mouth open, right? And that tongue. It's so impressive what they're able to do, those artisans. Really magical. So again, practice what you preach, living with antiques. This is a piece that I found over in England. It is a Swedish piece, and you can kind of tell from this is called the lozenge. This diamond shape here is called a lozenge. And it's just very indicative of a lot of the Gustavian style pieces. So it's just a fun one, right? You know, you have the doors down here, which yes, I know I need to get them fixed so that they close properly. It doesn't bother me. Antiques are quirky. It's fine. But it's got that dental molding, which is kind of one of my favorite molding styles. I love that, and I love lamb's tongue molding too. I think that's a really beautiful style. But so this has so much use. It's got so much storage. It's actually kind of insane how much I can fit in here. Like hides all manner of sins, which is fantastic. So I use that bar in the living room, but I kind of keep my booths over here just because it's a little bit easier. This is a really great, my friend Tiffany gave this to me for Christmas one year. It is Sheila Bridges' Harlem Toile, that collection with Wedgwood, which I love Harlem Toile, and so I was thrilled when she gave that to me. It's just really such a fun, cool piece. You can see just how much storage you can really get out of this and really use it. Oh, and that's my longhorns up there. I got those in Texas because I spent a lot of time in Texas. I'm there twice a year for about 3 weeks at a time. So I wanted to kind of bring a little bit of that home with me. I'm not like a fully open concept person. I struggle with that a little bit. So I thought this was just a perfect solution to it. And I love the hand railing. It's the original hand railing. So original Art Deco period piece. Lots of fun. So this is my living room. It is one of my favorite spaces in my apartment, and certainly probably the one that I spend the most amount of time in. So I brought in some things from where I used to live and then also had some new things done. But one of the things that I made sure to bring from my old place are these really incredible lamps by Tommy Mitchell. So I carry some of Tommy Mitchell's pieces. He no longer does these as lamps, but he does offer them sort of as wall art, you know, in these lucite boxes framed and backed on linen. I just totally fell in love with it, and I'm really, really happy that I was able to get the lamps while he was still producing them. So they're very special, and it's Lily of the Valley. This is a new sofa that was made. I really loved, it was the interior designer's idea to do this kind of ruching, the sort of ruffle along the cushions and on the back of the cushions as well. I wanted something really comfortable. I wanted it to be big enough for a bed. I didn't want to pull out, but I wanted people to be able to spend the night here comfortably. So we take off the cushions, and it's just about the size of a twin bed. It's actually slightly longer, which is great. It's also a performance velvet, which is good because I don't want people to feel like things are too precious. I want to be able to use them, and you know, I want them to be abused and be able to take it and recover and just work. So that was really important to me. So these little cushions are actually my beloved grandmother's cushions. She gave them to me when she downsized. And I just love them. I mean, they're so old, but they're these little silk. Purple happens to be my favorite color. It was my grandmother's favorite color too. So I'm thrilled with them. They mean a lot to me. So this pair of paintings are from one of my favorite artists, Angela Krushiki-Blem. She's a Southern artist, and she is known really for these, you know, these kind of bow paintings, right? The ribbon paintings. She does some of them on wood, but I reached out to her a long time ago now and asked if she would do this kind of diptych for me, this sort of pair. And we worked on the custom colors. We selected the colors and chose the sort of bronzy gold to go in there to add a little sheen and shimmer. It was fun because when we were putting them up, we were flip-flopping back and forth, and we did it once. We tried it the other way, and immediately we knew it just did not look right. So it was very funny, but this is how they'll stay. I'm really happy with them. So the wall color We had matched to go with the wall covering in my dining room and entryway. That's a de Gournay, and it's called Orchid on Silk. So we brought it in. It's a bit tricky because it's silk, so it was kind of difficult to match, but we did our best. And so, you know, we had a custom color done in this part of the living room. I love squirrels. They're sort of like a bit of a good luck charm for me. So I found this really great bronze at the Decorative Arts Fair over in London. Battersea as it's commonly known, but I found that over there, which is fun. And then this is, I love baseball. I absolutely love baseball. And so this is a foul ball from Paul O'Neill at a Yankees game. He was like my favorite player at the time. And so my brother, before we like really even realized it was a foul ball, he reached out, grabbed it with his hand, caught it, and then because he's a very good brother, he gave it to me. So I will always have this little baseball in my home. It's very important to me. This is a really great antique, it's, you know, this tortoise bamboo bar. And it's got this lovely embossed paper on the inside that has a bit of shimmer on it. So just kind of gives some interest in there. I use it as a bar because I think it's just convenient and well done. This is something that my sister-in-law gave me. So her name is Sasha. We're very, very good friends. We're very close. And so our family, Margaret, Sasha, they call us Marcia. So she got this for me and signed it the Marcia sisters. So we just loved it. It makes me laugh. That gets pride of place in this home. I do have a couple things by Ashley Longshore. This is one of them, this kind of middle finger candle. It just made me laugh. I like things that make me laugh in Google. This is one of them. So I got that when it came out. This is a long time ago that I got this candle, but this will always stay with me. It'll kind of move with me throughout. And then in here, I have fantastic vintage barware that I really, really love. So, and this I use as often as I can. So this Dorothy Thorpe set. So this is the martini shaker or pitcher, and these are some of the glasses, and they're in excellent condition. So I was very happy to find these. You can find them in pretty rough condition sometimes, but this one I was able to get and really clear. And then I think I told you I'm a bit crazy about Christmas, my family, so I have these high balls in here, so little candles on them. The fireplace was one of the things. There was the original fireplace. It was never working, but we decided to update it. It had been a little rundown. It was a wooden surround, and it just had a lot of chips and was not in great condition. So I took it out with the intention of restoring it. But then I ended up deciding to go with the stone fireplace and found this really lovely one, which is just kind of fun and interesting. And we ended up putting an insert in it where it's just like those gel you can kind of drop in and burn. So that way I still feel like I have a cozy fireplace at home, which I love. There's nothing more that I love than like hanging out here, reading a book, watching a little TV, like snuggling up to the fire. So this was a fireplace that we found and had installed. It's not connected to gas, but I can drop these little gel things in there and feel like I'm cozy in my little fireplace. But yeah, I had it installed, and I really wanted to. Kim Keever is one of my favorite artists, the photographer. I love Kim Keever. So I had a friend, Heather Gaudio, who has a gallery out in Greenwich. She saw some of my antiques, a set of 4 votive holders online. And she contacted me, and I was like, do you think we could arrange a barter? Because she's friends with Kim Keever. I knew she had pieces. So we ended up bartering. So I actually got this piece for free, which is great. And I couldn't believe it. I didn't know that I would ever be able to own a Kim Keever. So the fact that it's like such a generous size, and it's like, the perfect colors and everything, it just was sort of meant to be, which makes me very happy. This little guy here is another Ashley Longshore piece. So nude bottle service available upon request. Have that right next to the bar. Again, a little quirky and fun. It just makes me laugh. Like that whole thing makes me laugh. These are a set of kudu horns that I got on a trip to Africa, which was really cool. I mean, that was like genuinely a life-changing experience being on safari. It was really quite magical. And so I brought these back with me, which I just think they're very special. This one is in that kind of gold finish. For anybody who's interested in starting out in antiques, I mentioned before, just start reaching out to dealers and asking the questions, understand the materials, what they were originally used for, why was that material used, was that a common material during that period? Just asking these kinds of questions and and you can be very open-ended when you talk to a dealer. You can say, just, can you explain this to me? I'm new, I'm interested in this. You know, can you just please kind of walk me down the meaning, the significance, just, you know, explain what this is all about. This is a long case clock. I really never thought I'd be a person to have sort of a grandfather style or a long case clock in my home. But this I fell in love with. So I think a lot of people know about the Swedish Mora clocks. This is not a Swedish Mora clock. It's actually a Danish piece. And the paint on it, this kind of pink color, is just very unusual. I love that you can really see the pine, like the wood grain through it, which is really special. It's got that dental molding. It's got a really beautiful face, the crown on it. And then even down here, there's this sort of swag down there, which is, again, very feminine, ribbons, bows, all that kind of feeling. So these Romans were a custom colorway for me. So Jude McGuire, and her company is Main and Market. She is a brilliant textile designer. She actually just had a new collection released, which looks amazing. But this is her laurel wreath. And so she was able to do it in this kind of custom purples for me, right? These kind of lavenders and sort of light gray or light purple colors. So it just works with the space. I fell in love with this pattern. Totally. I know I keep saying I fell in love with things, but that's because I love everything in my home. It's really important to me to love everything in my home. If I don't love it, it's not coming in. That's why I have everything from this to like that little baseball, right? So just a bit of a mix. But we were able to put this in, and then the interior designer I worked with found this lovely little trim here. So we had that done too, just to kind of finish it off a little bit. This is a great sort of side table, little accent table, and it's from a company called Hanley Drive. They were purchased by someone a while ago, so I don't think they make this particular style anymore, but it's just so fun, right? It's very whimsical in its nature and feeling. It does feel a bit like bringing nature inside, you know, in the middle of Manhattan, right? With that long, lovely stem and the leaves and the forward-facing petals. It's a really fun, beautiful piece. So I keep all my crystals here so they can kind of catch the light, and I really just enjoy sitting in this particular area. So this chair is my reading chair from childhood that was in my bedroom, and it's been with me since I was a senior in college. It's kind of come everywhere with me. I had it reupholstered a while ago and did it in this fun fabric. I think it was like Ocelot. I can't remember who the manufacturer is, but it's very cozy. I had to redo the cushion because the cushion was totally flat and gone. But it's still one of my favorite places to kind of sit down, especially I have a really great view outside. There's this courtyard that has a lot of bamboo in it, and so I just kind of watch, you know, the wind blowing in the bamboo. It's very calming and peaceful, and I enjoy sitting here and kind of just like zoning out a little bit, just recovering and relaxing. This is Prince. I found it in London, so it's actually a felt artist who made it. They had a few different kind of people, but I love Prince, and obviously like Purple Rain, purple in my apartment, so it all just kind of worked, but I really love Prince's music, so it was kind of had to come home with me. So I think I told you, I don't bring home a ton of things, but when I do, it's weird stuff like this. So I was very happy when I found that. I saw it right away and knew I had to have it. They had Princess Diana too, but I have this little guy over here, Henrietta, or little gal, I should say. This is Henrietta. She's a quirky one, also found in England. She's paper mache, a really great size, and I'll show you some fun kind of details on her. So this is why I knew I had to have it. She's got these rhinestone eyes, these lovely gold teeth, a nice crystal necklace, and then the moment that really cinched the deal for me was she has a little gold stamp, on her bum. So that was it. I saw that. It made me laugh. She came home. That was it. I was so excited. When I found it. So she's moved around with me a couple of times, and every time I look at her, it makes me laugh, makes me smile. So nothing will wake you up on a Monday morning quite like a chandelier coming down, falling out of the ceiling. And so that is what happened like moments before we started to shoot. We just heard it kind of snap, and we were able to run over and grab it, thankfully. So shockingly, I don't know how, but nothing broke, which is great because it was custom made in Italy for me. And I would have been devastated if it had broken. So, but it's in totally fine condition. So now it'll just have to go and get repaired. But we were just kind of setting things up, and I heard just like the snap, and it dropped a couple of inches. That's when we ran over. We're holding it, and then it just dropped again and again. So poor Chi and a couple of my friends who were here, we were all holding it up, and thankfully I live in a doorman building, so our super ran up and helped take it down. So now it just has to go out to be restored. But the important thing about the chandelier, other than it's safe, is that it was designed in Italy. I worked with my designer on it. And it was a factory that I was introduced by Tama Clark Haynes, the antiques diva. She put me in touch with them and kind of helped facilitate the process. But I was able to meet the owner who came in, and he gave me a sample. So this amethyst color is really hard to do in glass. It's very difficult. So he brought a sample in, he brought one of these baubles, and when he presented it, he had these little fun kind of gold flourishes, just these little brush strokes here and there. And I loved that. I thought it made it much more dynamic and interesting, so we kept that. I thought it was a fantastic addition. So I just love when you have kind of a basic idea and then you meet somebody so talented and they just take it to the next level, right? Like, it's so rewarding to see people and to see them getting excited about it, right? Like contributing, making it their kind of own and making it better. There's only so much I can do, but that's why I love working with like other dealers, designers, manufacturers, because they just make everything so much more beautiful and special. So that's what this is. So this is again, like a very cool, meaningful thing to me, which will now go to the electrician and be reinstalled. So, but it's safe. We're good. It's safe, that was just quite a moment. I mean, I honestly can't believe it didn't break. It was like pure just stroke of luck. So, but yeah. This is a Florentine desk that I got over in England. I originally had planned on selling it, but I had a pretty basic desk, and I just kind of, realized that it would be the perfect thing for me. It's a great size, great function. I really liked the shape of it. It's got this kind of serpentine shape to it and these lovely little hand-painted flowers. So I brought this, and then the chair was with it. They're not a match. They're sort of a matched set, but there's this really lovely detail of these painted flowers right on the arm that match on the back of it as well, on the splat, which is great. I don't really feel like I often see the painting on the arms. It's actually a really generous size and generous proportion, so it's super comfortable as a desk chair, which is nice for when I sit here and work on my giant monitor. This is a great funky piece that I got in High Point. I found that, it was Atlanta, that's right. It was Atlanta when they used to do, at the gift show, when they used to have an antique section. So it is a funky piece of art. It's literally like so pixelated. It's printed on foam board, nothing fancy about it. But then, they colored in the eyeshadow, the lipstick, and then they bedazzled her. They bedazzled her, which is just wild. It's like a bad frame. It's like everything about it is bad, and I love it. I just love like kind of funky, campy things like this. So it really makes me laugh. So that had to come home with me for sure, and it was not expensive. So I took a gamble on it, and I think it's one of the things people ask most about in my apartment. They're like, what is that? I'm like, it's fabulous is what it is, So the other thing is my logo is a bird with crowns because, again, I love birds. And I put a little crown on my logo. And so now people associate that with me, and also lilacs and lavenders. So people will take pictures of flowers and send them to me and be like, thinking of you. But I also have gotten all these gifts over the years. So these lovely little birds with crowns. So I keep collecting them now. They just keep appearing. And I love it. It's really nice that people think of me like that, that they see this one thing and it just pops into their head. There's a set of 4 of them. Who doesn't like a naked lady? You know what I mean? Like, come on, they're just really fun. So she's got a bottle of champagne, and it's just this really great thing. It's supposed to be a glass, but I use it as little vases. They're perfect. So there's a set of 4, and I kind of will just line them up along the dining table for some like low arrangements. And that's my living room. That's sort of what it is in my little apartment. When I went into the home, when I was deciding what to bring in, antiques are obviously such an important part of my life and my career. And so I ended up bringing in this dining table. I had purchased that a long time ago, so I knew that was sort of going to be a key element in here. And I ended up bringing in some other pieces too, like this china cabinet, there's no better storage solution, especially in Manhattan with a teeny tiny kitchen. There's just no better option. So I just wanted to bring in touches here and there where it made sense, and also mix it in. I mean, it's so cliche, but it's all about the mix, right? So being able to bring things in, reupholster some things, so sort of to practice what I preach, right? To tell people you can live with antiques. These things aren't precious. They've been around for 100+ years. They'll last, 10, 20 more years with you. Hopefully you'll be able to hand them down to your children as well. The maintenance on them, can vary, but if you just kind of take care of them, look after them a little bit, keep them clean, notice if any sort of repairs need to be made. But overall, I mean, they're sturdy, they're solid, they've been here forever. So, they're kind of an easier thing for me, especially because if you do damage it, the patina is part of the story of that piece. I mean, we're kind of just custodians of these pieces. So now you have a piece, right? That like you're part of the story of that table, chair, whatever it is. So I think it's important to kind of see how you can actually truly live every day with antiques. So now is my bedroom, which is kind of this sort of like feminine pop art look to it, which I really love. It's definitely not for everyone, but it makes me really happy. And there's a lot of really cool things in here. So first up, which you will see prominently, is my bed, which is actually an antique bed. And I had the mattress. There's a really wonderful company, Charles Beckley. They're in the D&D building, and they make wonderful furniture, but they do a lot of mattresses. So I had them come in and they custom measured the space and handmade this mattress and box spring for me, like custom measured and made it for me. And also they are the most comfortable beds. I actually grew up with the owner of it. And so I've always had his mattresses. They're so comfortable and so sublime, and actually look pretty reasonably well priced, given what they are. So we had them do that. And then I had it reupholstered. It came to me in a kind of muslin fabric. It took me ages to figure out what I wanted to do. And then I finally decided to pull the trigger and to go with this really great tiger stripe fabric, which is really, really fun. Did it in that pink and red stripe. So a little bit wild, but it's really kind of fun. It's really fun and a bit funky. Above the bed is that same artist that did the bows out in my living room. Years later, I reached out to her. She had done a release of these mouths, right? These very pop art mouths and lips. And so I contacted her and I said, would you do one with a cigarette in the mouth? And she was like, yes, I love it. I'm on it. So it came out better than I even expected. It's just so like, I don't know. It's a little weird. It's a little funky, but I just love it. I thought it was perfect to hang over the bed frame. So to complete the bed, I ended up doing this really just plain, simple white bed spread and shams. And then I added in my upholsterer, had some leftover fabric. And so he was able to make these matching pillows to kind of just complete the set here, just sort of complete the look of the bed, which is fun. The vision for this space, which is totally different than the rest of the apartment, was I wanted to feel like very confident and very comfortable in this space. So that's why I kind of went in this direction. I really loved that sort of tinted feel on the wallpaper back there, and then adding in that kind of sexy mouth and this kind of really luxurious materials in here. So I felt like that sort of fit the bill and kind of what I wanted out of the space. So I needed more storage in here, so I found this lacquered piece on Etsy. I can't remember who it was by, but it just seemed like a really great fit for the space. And then I updated the hardwares with the dog's wood handles, also by Modern Matter. So that was a fun little thing. This is a painting by an Austrian artist who is sort of known for these winter scenes. Winter is my favorite season. Absolutely love it. Love the snow. You'll never hear me complain about a snow day. And the light, just how the light is done, like hitting the mountains with this really beautiful foreground of the really heavy snow on the trees. I just thought it was beautiful. And the color kind of worked in here, so I added that in. There's some really fun pharmacy jars out there, and I try to collect them. This one doesn't have any age on it, but it made me laugh with arsenic. Also, I also have an opium one, just like those kind of funky, funny ones that you're like, really? Did they really do this? But, here it is. You can find the old vintage ones. They really are out there, which is wild. So, I also, having some candlelight in the bedroom is always nice. And I found these at 200 Lex. Again, love ribbons and bows. I had never seen anything like this. And then this really great patina on it, just this rusty oxidized metal. It was so perfect for me. Actually usually have black candlesticks in there, but did white for today. But I think they're really special. So this is just a small kind of gallery wall. I have more things to put up, but just some paintings that I've collected over the years. Nothing too special. This I got in England, but like these pieces, I found that in a French market and just love sort of, you know, the floral illustration. This was an artist in Italy that I found and had framed, so lots of fun. But then this, somebody told me that I manifested. So we just wrapped up our Cherish Emporium at Bergdorf Goodman. I was one of the 7 dealers who was invited to do that, which was like mind-blowingly amazing. I mean, I never thought I'd have space in Bergdorf's, right? But that's what Cherish does. They give us these opportunities. But so I love Bergdorf's, always have. I'm from New York. Like, it's such an iconic space, an iconic store. Very inspired, obviously, by their colors. It's my favorite color. It works with them. So having this kind of in my bedroom, somebody was like, you kind of manifested that opportunity. And I like to think of it that way. I think that's a really fun way to look at it. I redid my closet in here and made it into a laundry room / like Costco closets for storage. So I needed a wardrobe, like a proper wardrobe in here. And I had reached out to a couple people and gotten quotes for custom pieces in New York. And they were so outrageously expensive. But I knew about this company, Porta Italia, based near Venice. They're based in Venice, and reached out to them. I knew they had this sort of trompe l'oeil design. So I don't know why. I measured the space myself, which is absolutely crazy, like insane. I measured it so many times I can't even tell you. But we measured the space and I had them custom design and build it. So I wanted 3 distinct spaces. So this has space for long dresses, things like that. This has some drawers and like a vanity space in it. And then in here, it has drawers and short hanging space. So you can see in here. But one of my favorite things about this company, I mean, they are incredible, truly. Their craftsmanship is absolutely amazing. No detail is, left untouched or not thought about. They had the idea of adding in, because I love birds, they added in this little bird for me with the bow, the ribbon, and even the bird is in kind of my favorite, like lavender color. So that's the kind of company that they are. They're just so thoughtful and so meticulous to have come up with this recommendation. I couldn't be more excited about it. But you can even see just like all of the detail on each drawer. And we worked on the design, sort of what that would look like. And it's so, I mean, look, even under this shelf, they have that trompe l'oeil in there, right? Like, what kind of company does that? Porta Italia, because they're amazing. Like, I can't say enough good things about them. It was a fraction of the cost of having something built locally. It's hand painted, handmade. We customized this from the original design. Free shipping from Italy. It's just, there's nothing that I don't love. And it was also the most professional experience I've ever had when dealing with a company. The communication, like, I know I'm sounding like an ad right now. Like, I just love them so much. They deserve it. They deserve all the praise, because it truly was just such a spectacular experience. And then this, I found these because, again, like ribbons, bows, tassels, all of that is so fun. So I had seen these a long time ago. I fell in love with them and just waited until the time was right to buy them and bring them into my home. So here we are. This is my last little shade. It's got a diffuser on it, which is really nice. So great lighting options. And that is my home. So I started my career, it was back when everybody graduated and was able to get a job immediately, which I was super lucky. So I ended up getting a job at Martha Stewart, and I worked there for 4 years, which was, and I always say one of the best things that I got from working there is I can work with any personality that you throw at me. Like, I can handle that. So that was really beneficial when I decided to leave and go into retail. So I opened up a store in New Canaan, Connecticut, and had that for like maybe 6 or 7 years. I can't quite remember. It was mostly new store, right? Carrying brands like Worlds Away and things like that. But there was a time that I started to feel like I wanted more, just kind of more depth and variety, right? I just wanted things to look a bit different, a little more unusual. So I started bringing in vintage items first, and I was very intimidated by it. I ended up taking a trip to London, and I had done my semester abroad there. So I decided to do something a little different than, the usual kind of museum tours and stuff like that. I booked a one-day antiques tour, and I was very upfront with them. It's the Antiques Diva. I said, I don't know if I will buy anything at all. I just, kind of want to experience this, and I'm interested in it. And so it was a one-day tour. By the end of the day, I had filled a 20-foot container, which is totally insane. I do not recommend doing that. I mean, it was completely nuts. No idea what I was doing. Like when everything arrived off the container, I was like, what did I get? Like none of this makes sense. There was no point of view, but I loved everything that I got. So I brought it all in, priced everything wrong. Like every mistake that you can make as a dealer, I assure you I've made it, and I continue to make mistakes, but it's been a long learning process. And I just knew that day, the first day when I was on that antiques tour, that this was it. It was one of those rare kind of like aha moments in your life where you're like, this is it. This is what I'm doing. This is what I need to do. Next, we're gonna go to my bedroom and the bathroom, but quickly I wanna show you my little entryway. That's one of the things that I really love about this apartment is you don't walk in and you're right in the living room immediately. There's this kind of transition space. So it is a bit dark here, and I wanted to lighten it up, and I already had this kind of collection of sunburst mirrors and these small mirrors. I'm still working on collecting them. It just takes a while for me to find a piece that I really fall in love with. But this was the first one that I bought, and it is just so amazing. The oxidation on the original glass plate is like chef's kiss, perfect. And I loved just all the different stepped wood carving. So it's a really, really special piece. So come on. It is a small New York bathroom. Again, total gut renovation. Had to redo the tub, or actually put in a new tub. I had fun with this. So this is that really great like modern matter hardware. And I found this flooring, New Ravenna, and it's so wonderful. It's such a great pattern. Really, really fun. We actually customized it a little bit where those little stars are. Those are supposed to be brass, but I was worried about kind of how they would age in such a wet space. So we replaced it with gold back painted glass, which I think makes it just a little more sturdy and a little more water resistant. So I wanted to echo that star pattern throughout. So there's this really great sunburst back plate on the hardware. And I put in this fun I actually had to drop the ceiling. There was no light in this bathroom, so we had to drop the ceiling to install some overhead lights. And so that's the last kind of little nod to the sunburst theme in here. And this is my last little Ashley Longshore thing, which is I really want people to wash their hands. So this is my not so friendly reminder to not be dirty out here. So Modern Antiquarian has evolved over the years, which I think is important. Evolve or die, just like people's interests kind of change over time. My interests have changed. So when I first started Modern Antiquarian in January of 2018, I was really heavily focused on Gustavian, which I still love. I mean, I have 2 Gustavian pieces in my home. Still love Gustavian, but over time I sort of fell in love with garden antiques, and that's kind of become my specialty now. So I bring in unusual things. I just got the most insane set of terracotta Four Seasons. They're like mind-blowingly good. So I'm super, super thrilled. So garden antiques, it covers sort of a broad spectrum, but it's anything from outdoor furniture like benches and tables to garden ornaments, like those little kind of garden ornaments you see like a swan planter or, those cornucopia baskets that you'll find, little animals. It's also statuary, so when I said the Four Seasons, that's an example of statuary. And it could be arbors, armilleries, it could be, reclaimed kind of architecture pieces, glass houses, planters and urns. There's a lot to do with garden, a lot. And I just think it's fabulous and really fun. Go out and experience what other antique styles there are. Or types, and then just start building your collection. It is nice to have one kind of dealer that you can rely on and work with, over a period of time. So that's my biggest recommendation. But don't be intimidated. Just go in, start asking the questions, and then take it from there. And if the dealer is not polite, then all right, move on. That's, you'll figure it out. That doesn't happen often, so don't be scared. But yeah, I think it's just really, really important to be curious. So right next to my dining room, conveniently located, is my kitchen, which was a disaster when I bought the place. I mean, truly like horrendous. You wouldn't want to use it. It was so bad. So we had to rip everything out, renovate all of it. Originally the dishwasher was over here, so it was like a super choppy layout, just a bit funny. So we moved the dishwasher to the middle, moved the sink over here so that there's just more continuity of counter space. Not that I cook, but it makes it very easy to plate takeout when my friends are over. So we just kind of set everything up here. This is a great sink. I really love it. It's got like some sort of kind of interesting attachments to it. So you can put in, there's sort of a drying rack and a strainer that you can put in there. And then there is this cutting board for the like rare occasion that I actually cook. I'm just a terrible cook too. So it's not even like it's enjoyable. I eat the food and I'm like, this is trash. I shouldn't eat this. So we settled on, or I really wanted the lavender, like lilac kind of color in my kitchen because I didn't want white. I didn't want something kind of basic. So we had it all done in this. And then this is that Davenport hardware collection from Top Knobs, which was also one of the first things that I picked out. I had seen it somewhere else and just fell in love with this style. It's just kind of fun and interesting. So that's what I did in here. This is a lamp or a semi-flush mount from Colleen and Company, which is the company. I had these out at my old place and they did this in that custom gilt finish for me. So it comes in a lot of different paint colors. And I think they still offer that you can select your own paint color, but I had them do it in all gold, which is really fun. It does feel, again, a bit cliche, but it does feel a bit like a jewel box, right? This like kind of small space with this really fun kind of top here. The fun sort of inserts. And I've got a couple paintings that were gifted to me from a friend. They're in Paris. They're these little oil paintings that were gifted actually in January 2020. We were in Paris together and we saw the artist working on them. So unbeknownst to me, my friend went back and purchased them. And then when they were dry, she had them sent to me, which was really lovely and thoughtful and special. So just a fun little trip, a fun little memory. I think it's a space. I'm an introvert, I really am a big introvert. And so I need a place to come home, unwind, unplug, relax. And part of what helps me with that is I have a really beautiful view out there. So just actually being able to sit and stare out the window at the bamboo waving in the wind, having these sort of peaceful moments and peaceful spots in my home is really important to me. But it's also really important to me to have it be comfortable enough that my friends can come over and hang out, order takeout, because I don't cook. What New Yorker cooks? I mean, come on. And so, a place where everybody can come, like people can just kind of stop by, swing by if they're in the neighborhood, whatever they want, just feel comfortable and welcomed here. Plus, I really love decorating for Christmas. So one of the first things I did when I looked at the apartment, I was like, that's where the tree goes, So being able to just make it my own and make it feel comfortable for myself, comfortable for the people visiting, welcoming, and build my life here. I plan on being here for a very long time. Thank you so much, Homeworthy. It was a lot of fun having you, but I gotta get back to antiquing, so thanks again.
Thanks for watching. Go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content and shopping guides.